2, 1.
The Great Christmas Light Fight is on! Ho, ho, ho!
Fourth of July. Not just 4th of July. Oh. Santa. Christmas in July. Oh, one more thing. One more very important thing. Oh, I like decorating in July. Oh. Hey, everybody. I'm back. I'm going to tell you where I'm back from very shortly here, but you just caught me decorating the library. And that's right. It's in patriotic decoration as well as holiday decoration because it's Christmas in July. And I've been celebrating all month, even though you haven't heard from me in 2 weeks. And I got a lot more celebrating to do the rest of the month. But, you know, since we're here, let's make it official. Showed you this last time. The librarian is now in. I hope you like my decorations. Oh, there we go. That's better. Decorations wouldn't be complete without some blow molds. What'd you say? I got one. Ah, my Snoopy. And he's patriotic. Say hi, Snoopy. All right, you probably can't see him down here, but he's making me happy. All right, I'm coming to you from the library here in Hatfield, PA. And I want to talk to you about a really, really cool trip I just had. And it wasn't an ordinary trip. And it wasn't an ordinary mini. It was a mini at sea. And not only was it a mini at sea, it went all the way from Seattle, Washington, all the way up to Juneau, Alaska, and then back down, and many cool places in between. And I got to spend it with a lot of cool people. And I want to talk to you about it today and give you a viewpoint and recap from my perspective on why you should attend not only a mini, but the mini at sea, because there are more coming up. And there have been more in the past. So this was my first one. And I did take the librarian's wife, AKA Kimberly Michael, and she had an amazing time. And I'm going to show you a lot of cool stuff today to kind of recap it. So I hope you enjoy it. And before we get started, I do want to check in to see if anybody's watching, see if we have any comments. And if we don't have any comments, I'm going to dig right into the content because we got about 90 minutes today. And I got a lot of really great videos that I think you're going to enjoy. I will give a preface. It's a little stormy here, like it's been all summer. Matter of fact, we have a flood watch right now. So if the videos do bog, I do promise you, I will post an edited version of this stream with clean videos in a separate post on my YouTube channel. So if you don't know where that is, just search the librarian, Brian Michael, and you can find me, follow me, subscribe. And let's check in on things and see if anybody's watching. Let's look at the comments. There's one, but one is okay. Oh, I got a comment from my buddy Jordan Maywald from season 7 of the Great Christmas Light Fight. He's been to Alaska, but not on a mini at sea. So I think he needs to check that out and join us next time. Ah, Eddie LeBlanc's watching again. Hey, welcome back. I think you watched the last episode of The Librarian. I think you're really going to enjoy what we have today. And this is no experience like I've ever had before. Besides the camaraderie and hanging out with people who like the same thing as me, Christmas lights, and talking about Christmas lights, we got to see a lot of cool stuff. And I'm going to share you just kind of how the segment will go today. I'm going to start where we kicked off at. So Kim and I flew all the way to Seattle, yes, 3,000 miles. And we spent the weekend before the cruise took off exploring Seattle because we've never done that. And I know a lot of attendees on the Mini at Sea did the same thing. So I'm going to show it to you from my viewpoint. I'm sure they have a lot of their own viewpoints as well. And I would love to see their videos or comments posted as we move forward. Hey, speaking of other attendees, I got Thomas and Kathy here. They were on the cruise. They could tell you what it's about. And I think you're going to like what I show you today. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks for joining in. Oh, we got the Russo family joining. They were also on the Mini at Sea. These are people that you can meet and hang out and become friends with. And that's one of my videos later, is probably the best part of the Mini at Sea, is the friendships you build outside of the trip for a lifetime, I believe. So, hey, thanks for joining. Hey, we got Monty Small joining. Appreciate you coming in, Monty. Hey, Monty is one of the viewers from one of my other favorite channels, Christmas on Crestline. And we want to give a shout out to Charlie Byers. His family's been going through some issues, and we hope everything's getting better there, Charlie, and we're looking forward to you bringing back the show. But thanks for joining, Monty. Do I have anybody else? I think that's good for right now. So I am going to get into the content and start this thing off. By the way, I have a loud mouse here. You heard it clicking. Somebody told me about it before. One day I'll upgrade that part of the library with the IT, but I want to start it off at the very beginning. So we started out in Seattle before we got on the boat, like I said, and Kim and I got to do a couple touristy things, just like everybody else did. So I want to share a video with you, just show you the fun we had. It's a couple minutes long, so hang in there. But while it's playing, think of comments, type in questions, and we will get you answers on those. And I really hope you enjoy the video. Let me cue it up. And again, I do apologize if it's bogging a little bit. Just hang in there, watch through it. We'll get back to it. And then, like I said, I will post an edited version of this broadcast after the fact with clean videos. So with no further ado, let's see why Seattle rocks. All right. Thanks, man. I apologize again for some of the internet issues. I gave you a heads up. But again, as a reminder, I will post a clean version of this broadcast after it's all done and repost it as a second showing in case it is glitchy. But a couple of things before we move on to the cruise itself. So thanks for indulging me for our Seattle excursion. Like I said, a lot of other people did the same thing on the Mini at Sea. But just a couple fun facts since we are the library. If you notice the music choice, which by the way, it's so hard to find music that you can use in your videos so they don't get pulled and blocked. But anyway, instrumental versions or karaoke versions of Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit and Pearl Jam Alive. So Seattle was the formation and the groundbreaking area where grunge music started. So Soundgarden and a few others. The Space Needle, built in 1962. It stands about 605 feet tall, so that's pretty high up there. I don't like heights. It only took 400 days to build for the World's Fair, so it kind of has this nickname of being built so quick, but with so much quality. The Sky Deck, which is the top one, is 520 feet above ground. And then the glass deck, where we had our nice old-fashioned antennas, which was a nice touch, by the way, is about 500 feet above ground. And you're sitting on glass while you're having your drinks and looking out all around you in 360 views as it rotates. So that's really cool. This was one other fun fact. The top, which they put flags and stuff on now, that's the point, the tower, used to actually have a gas top during the world's shooting out flames. So how would you like to see that in some light show videos? So, hey, cool light show prop. Pikes Peak Market, established in 1905. That's pretty old. It's said it's continuous holding farm market, public market in existence, which I thought was interesting. I thought there were some older ones, especially on the East Coast here. And then it's a National Historic Landmark. In the 60s and into the 70s, they tried to demolish it to put office buildings, and the community fought and saved it. So I'm glad they did, because it brings a lot of income into Seattle and gives a lot of people opportunities to sell goods that they make. So a lot of cool stuff there. The most beautiful flowers you've ever seen. A tip, if you're going to go on an Alaskan cruise next time and go to Pike's Place Market beforehand, buy a bundle of flowers for about $10. They're huge, they're gorgeous, and you could tell on the ship. We did not know this. We saw people bring them on. They would look nice in our stateroom. The gum wall. I know I spent a lot of time on the gum wall. It's actually in Pike's Place Market, and I know a lot of people went there. I saw photos of it, but talk about cool, but gross. So anyway, the one fun fact there was in 2015, they actually cleaned off the gum wall. It's an area down below part of the market, and they salvaged 2,350 pounds of gum. Ooh, that's some sore teeth. The aquarium, it's located on the 58th, 9th, and 60th Street piers, which are historic landmarks as well. That's where some of the cruise ships leave out of. That's where Norwegian goes out of. We went out of another different port. Cool. And the last thing is the crab pot's not a landmark, but I had to get some crab legs before going. But it is known as for their Sea Fest, where you get this giant pile of seafood. And it was also on Man vs. Food. How about that? All right. Next topic, and we're going to get on the ship, I promise you. That's what it felt like on embarkation day. You were getting so excited, it took forever to get there, and I'm getting there, I promise to you. But before I do, let's get in the comments. So we got a lot of them. Let's see what we got. Oh, and forgive me as I'm viewing here without my glasses again. Oh, the house on Hollybrook made it. Carl and Joan, we got to hang out with them a lot in Seattle and on the cruise, and we met them at a Mini. Or at an expo, actually. So you meet friends like I told you about. They were at the gum wall. They watched me film that. And I don't know, Carl wasn't in the video. Maybe he was picking some gum and chewing on it. Joan, you can tell me later. Oh, Patrick Mock is joining me. Agree. We were supposed to be in Dallas, Texas at the Christmas Expo this year. We would have been hanging out with Patrick Mock at his house. He was on season 12 last year of Light Fight, become a great friend, hung out, and there was supposed to be a bunch of past light fighters there and upcoming light fighters at the Mini, and maybe we'll get a chance to do that somewhere else. Let's do it. Light Fight at Sea. Hey, Devin Blanchard joining in. Devin was just on J.R. Matos' show last night, talking about Devin Lights and what he does for his public community with his neighborly display. And we're glad to have him here. So, J.R., I want to thank you for convincing me to go on the Mini at Sea. I know you kind of spearheaded some of this, and I do have some props to give out to some people here shortly. Oh, my favorite person, Kimberly Monk, puts up all my video and filming. For what it's worth, I easily filmed about 1,200 videos and pictures trying to document things for the library. And I really wish I could have got everybody else's photos. Matthew Eccles, who I'll talk about in a minute, is trying to collect those up, but they weren't in time for my videos. I did try to pull some things around, but hopefully I'm representing everybody as best as I can. And I know Kim did the comic, the Bazooka Joe comic on the gum wall. Oh, okay. I think we're caught up on comments for now. Let's get into the cruise itself. And before I do, I just want to thank a couple of people. First, I did mention JR. He kind of spearheaded this mini at sea idea. JR from Matos Designs and a past Light Fight alumni. Awesome experience. I wish I had the previous ones, and I'm looking forward to the two that are already scheduled in 26 and 27, which I'll talk about later. I also want to thank Matthew Eccles. I finally met Matthew. What a great guy. His wife is amazing, Esther. They are not only experts with this mini at sea, because they help coordinate a lot of the IT and computer work and the classes, as well as other guides stuff. But he's a cruise expert. They've been over 60 plus cruises, mostly with Royal Caribbean. So if you have a Royal Caribbean question, you can ask him, or you can ask the next person I want to thank, Karen Matos. Karen, you made it easy to sign up for the mini at sea. I was really nervous at first, especially knowing that we had to deal with some things with a wheelchair, and you eased us with that. You helped us with that. You made it, and you got us a great price. You got us a great room, and she's really good at all the excursions and packages. We upgraded and downgraded and upgraded our drink package multiple times and saved lots of money, huge money. So thank you, Karen Matos. Check out Cruise Planners, her website, KT Travel. I'll show you a link here shortly. All right. And then finally, I want to thank somebody else who really handled all the IT work for us and made it happen, including the zooming in from miles away into the ship so we could have additional classes. I do want to thank, geez, I'm drawing a blank right now. Oh, I'm sorry, Kevin and Sonia Larson. And the reason I'm drawing a blank is because Larson's their last name, but then we also had another couple on the cruise whose first name was Larson. So I'm sorry, Kevin. Kevin, thank you for all the IT work, and thank you for allowing me to film a lot and putting up with it. All right, so with no further ado, let's get on this cruise ship. So I'm going to show you a quick video. I'm going to welcome you aboard the Quantum of the Seas by Royal Caribbean. So let's cruise. Let me show you what it might be like. And then after that, I'm going to give you my introduction I filmed on the mini at sea. So let's check this out. Hopefully it doesn't bog for you. So here we go. that doesn't make you want to go on this cruise, I don't know what does. So I kind of jumped ahead a little bit in some of the videos, gave you an overview of the ship, kind of showed you some of the things we got to see. And I thought you'd think it would be really cool. So for example, in that video, you saw the glacier falling down into the water, which doesn't happen that often when people are around it. One of the people on our trip at the Mini at Sea captured that on one of their excursions where they got off the boat up there in Dawes Glacier area and went on this little tender and got to go in front of it. They also saw a whale breaching and some other stuff. So I apologize, I forget who submitted that video, but it was awesome. You also see the ship itself. You see the big pink bear on the top. That was kind of our home away from home, if you will. That's where we took our group photo. It was something to see from a distance, so you knew where you were in port. In addition to the big arm that goes up from the Quantum to Seas, the Sky Tower, which we got to go up into thanks to Mr. Eccles and his wife Esther. So really cool stuff. But now it's just getting into the meat of the content. So let me give you the introduction I filmed while on the ship to welcome everybody aboard to the Mini at Sea. Let's check that out and see if it convinces you even more. So let's do it. Hi, everybody. My name's Brian Michael, your librarian and your great Christmas Light Fight resource. And I'm coming to you from a very unique location today. That's right, I'm not in the library. I am in the middle of the Pacific Ocean on my way up to Alaska on a very unique Mini, and that is the Mini at Sea. That's right, I'm hanging out with Christmas light people on a Christmas vacation. How cool is that? That's what I call Christmas in July, and you could be here too. And why would you want to be here besides a great vacation and checking out sights around Alaska? You get to hang out with Christmas light people just like you, and you also get some great classes. We have people zooming in all the way from us 3,000 miles away. People like Matt Phipps from season 3 of the Great Christmas Light Fight and an expert on programming pixels and one of the masterminds behind X Lights Around the World. We got Clyde Lindsay from Pixel Pro Displays and Pixel Pro University calling in to teach us stuff about programming and light shows. Things you might not be thinking about in July, but you are. Other opportunity for cruises coming up. If you will be going out of California later in the spring, and then we also have another trip going out of Florida. Check those out at the Mini at Sea Facebook page. Just Google that, get on board, think about it. We've hung out with great people since we've gotten on the cruise, and it's only going to get more fun. I will tune in later. I'll update you on the classes. Hopefully it convinces you that you should be hanging out with us. So again, I'm Brian Michael, your great Christmas Light Fight resource, and thank you for watching The Librarian. Ahoy, lady. Little fun introductory video. I did it on the back of the ship at the beginning of the cruise. And I don't know, it was neat. It turned out all right. Time's a little low, but welcome to the Mini at Sea. We're going to get into the real meat of it now. But before I do, just a couple fun facts about the little video clip there at the end. You probably saw I pulled in the piano guys. And if you were listening in the background, you heard a version of I Saw Three Ships Sailing, you know, which is related to a Christmas tune, nautical theme. Well, the first part was just a generic one, but at the end, I pulled in a little clip of the piano guys version. And the reason I did that is if you've ever seen that full video, check it out on YouTube. It has a really cool synchronization to a light show while he's playing the piano. Even more cool of a fun fact, if you didn't know, if you read the credits about that video, it was helped coordinated with the piano guys by Matt Phipps from season 3 of the Great Christmas Light Fight, also a presenter on Mini at Sea, and one of the people doing the sequences for X Lights Around the World. And he was also co-assisted, or maybe it was vice versa probably, by Tom Betgeorge. So everybody knows Tom Betgeorge in the pixel lighting community, the light show community. So I thought that was a little fun fact. Now, we're going to talk about education, the conference itself, our private party, how we celebrated 4th of July while on a ship. By the way, here's my door wreath. I have a story about that. we actually didn't get it till the last day. So I believe JR's children helped put that together. Little Johnny and Faye, they helped make them, I believe, or at least hang them up on the doors. Well, lo and behold, Kimberly and I, we had all of our little magnets decorate like people cruise ships, this little guy here. And I was a little jealous. Everybody had this beautiful wreath that said Mini at Sea. So I was talking to another friend I met on the ship, Abe DeGraw. I hope you're watching, Abe. And he asked, who's in the room next to us that has the same wreath up? Because we've never seen him coming out of the door. So 2 and 2 got put together, and lo and behold, we went by, turned the wreath around, and there was our name on the back. So I guess I stole it and took it down and put it on our door for the very last day of the cruise. So awesome. It's cool. And it's a great memory of the trip. All right, let's get into the conference itself. So there's a lot of coordination on the cruise, and Matt and Kevin did a great job, especially with this. This is our Mini at Sea Cruise Compass, which is a variation of the daily document that the ship puts out digitally, or you can request a copy because they're trying to, be conservative on paper, especially at ocean. But this was invaluable. And what it does is it tells you all your stops and when things are happening, what shows are going on, where your ports of call are. So we did stop at Sitka, Alaska, Skagway, Alaska, and then we did go to Endicott Arm and Dawes Glacier, which is a ford that is basically a finger of water that's surrounded by by land on 3 sides. But the big ships go in there, and that's where they get to see the glacier, and then they turn around and come back out. But this was invaluable. Told us every time, what we were going to do, where we're going to do it, when we needed to be there, and keep this up. Good job on it, team. So the reason that's important, because we're going to move into the conference itself. So I got this video coming up, and again, I apologize about the bogginess. The last one was really bad. Again, I'm going to edit this video. We're going to get into what you'd really do at a Mini at Sea, because I didn't know exactly what to expect. I thought we might have an hour of just talking about stuff, and then the rest was a fun vacation. And it's not. It was really coordinated well with days at sea and breaks in between, where those that wanted to go learn could. It's all optional. You don't have to go to the classes, but I do hope you do, because it's a great place to learn, and not only learn, but make new friends and see what you might be wanting to do next. So before I show the video, let's check in on these comments. There's a couple more, and we'll see who we got. Oh, Carl Jimenez. This is one of the people that's going to be on season 13 of the Great Christmas Light Fight this year. And I was looking forward to meeting him at the Christmas Expo in person. He did still go. There was still a Light-O-Rama session there and an X-Light session there. I'm glad you joined, Carl, and I'm glad you went to the session. I'll be able to meet you again in a future trip, or Mini, or Expo, or Mini at Sea. Brandon Reaver. He's late because he's always working on stuff. Messaging me today about all the props he's making for this year's light show. So thanks for joining, Brandon. I hope everything's doing well there. The Slankards are here, Robert and Lori. We met them at the Florida Mega Mini this past year. They were also on Christmas Light Fight last year, season 12. And really, really great people. And wish we could have hung out again. But you can come to a Mini at Sea too. I think you would like it. I think you would like it. Hey, we got KTU Rob here, checking in on Charlie from Christmas at Crestline. Haven't heard anything recently, but the last update I gave you, Charlie had his birthday, so happy belated birthday, even though I wished you happy birthday. I'm not sure how the family situation is going right now with his mom and so forth, but again, we're praying for them, and thanks for checking, and we hope Charlie's back soon. We got Ray Banda joining from Northopolis, Weslaco. Great to tune in. Thank you. Another person, we were supposed to meet Ray, who was also a fellow Christmas Light Fight alumni. He was up against Jordan Maywald's in his episode. We were supposed to meet him at the Florida Mega Mini and talk about weather. He had over a foot of rain down in his area earlier this spring when we were supposed to go to Florida, and he got canceled. So sorry to hear that. There will be other opportunities, I think, and really fun. Oh, Sonia Larson. Hey, Sonia. Thanks for joining. Really, really great job with all the posts you made of all your photos. If you're friends with Sonia, you can check out some really great albums she put together of the show. And again, Kevin did a great job with all the IT work. And he also did fun with the little JR Matos sticker that's going around for his contest. So check out JR's Matos Designs post if you want to learn about that and maybe win $1,000 to his show. Oh, Jacqueline Fisher, family member watching. They're having connection issues, but hey, we'll make sure we get that fixed like I talked about. All right, let's go to what it's like to have a conference at sea. Now, this is a little longer clip. I hope it doesn't bog down too much, but this is going to show you the camaraderie of joining, getting on the ship. This is going to show you what the education sessions were like. It's going to show you what some of the dinners were like. It's going to show you what we did on 4th of July. And it's just an overall fun recap video of the conference. So hang in there. We're getting close. And again, leave your comments. We'll check in on them after this video. This one's a little longer. It's about 10, 12 minutes. Hopefully the streaming's okay. And again, if it's not, I will correct that in a fresh video that I'll post later on in the week that has a clean version of it. So no further ado, let's see what it's like to have a conference on the Mini at sea. Here we go.
know what the difference is between you and me? I make this look good.
Three, two, one.
Yay! Happy 4th, everybody. Again, sorry about the video quality on the streaming there, but what do you think? Pretty cool? Again, I'll post a clean video, but Johnny 5, what do you think? Do I make these look good? Johnny's a cool little kid. He also has a clothing line, I heard, so you can check that out at JR. But hey, that's what it's like to see a conference on the Mini at Sea while on 4th of July. So kind of fun. They made it fun. I've been on ships where they light fireworks. I know Disney does that, but I'm thinking because we were up in Alaska, there were some regulations. We actually pulled into Juneau on 4th of July, right on the afternoon. We just missed their 4th of July parade, which is apparently pretty big. You could see it from the ship as we were porting, and it was loud. There were big floats and all, but by the time we got there, it was done and we went on our excursion. So a lot of fun there. You saw a couple things. The first thing is the education. And again, thank you to Matthew and thank you to Kevin for coordinating all that and making it work. Thank you for Matt Phipps and Clyde Lindsay for joining in. It was really great knowledge. The timing was perfect. We usually did our classes around 9 to 12 on the days we were at sea, so it worked out well. You can get breakfast. If you were with a significant other who wasn't interested in going to the class or couldn't make it and wanted to do other things, you can kind of split up and do things since you were on your day at sea. And it was really good time. I learned a lot of stuff. The second thing I want to talk about there was the sponsors. The sponsors. I scrolled at the bottom. There were lots of sponsors. But that being said, this could not happen with sponsors. There's really a lot they do to allow us to get the conference room, to help get goodies for everybody, to pay for the party that we have, to help coordinate the costs of the IT and so forth. So we really want to thank the vendors. We got this really cool goodie bag from Karen at Cruise Planners, and it was stuffed with everything from the vendors. So I kind of, first of all, there was a bunch of snacks in there for, I guess, when you're on your excursions. Ate them all up already, even though I have a ton of food on the ship. So they're gone. Got a nice water bottle. Got a cool book about Christmas lights from one of the vendors, Twinkle by Darren Vader. And this is pretty cool. It has all kinds of stuff in here about how to get into Christmas. So it's called Twinkle, the Ultimate Guide to Outdoor Christmas Decorating, Darren Vader. You might want to check it out, support his book. Has a foreword from Chuck Smith from Planet Christmas, if you remember that. And it talks about everything from traditional displays all the way up to Pixel Light Show. So really cool. Has a lot of cool stuff in there too about electricity and things you should do for your display and how to set it up. So check it out. I read it some. The Larson family got me some pixel pushing tools. Now I just got to get me some pixels. I also won some sequences from a few of the vendors and a couple other things. So thank you, Kevin, for that. One of the really cool things we got from the vendor, and this one is awesome. You know, you're in Alaska and it's kind of chilly. Every attendee as a couple got this nice Royal Caribbean blanket that's themed for Alaska. So as you're sitting out on your patio watching the glaciers go by, why not do it in a warm blanket? Yeah, look at this. Has a big brown bear on it. It's warm, but we wouldn't have had it without the vendors. So really thank the vendors for contributing so that we could have that. Speaking of brown bears, so I'm talking, I finally met another Michael family without an S on the end, Randy Michael and his wife Sherry. Randy lives out in California. We are not related, but he's a great guy. And besides seeing the brown bear on the blanket, he said he finally saw brown bears on one of his excursions on one of the stops. So congratulations to the other Michael family. What else? We got all kinds of cool stuff from the vendors. Really, again, thank you, vendors, for doing that. We had the scavenger hunt. Hope you don't mind. I posted the clues there, but at the end of that little section, there was reels. They printed out everybody's pictures on the ship so that we could see all of our pictures. And, you know, if you were entered into a contest to see if you can win, some of them were hard, some were not so hard. I heard everybody got them right. So almost everybody got a prize. Thanks to the vendors. So that's fun. I heard the next one is going to be a little more challenging, especially since we have Matt and Esther, who are experts on Royal Caribbean ships. By the way, Kevin and Sonia shared also that they met on a cruise ship, is my understanding. You know, Kevin used to do that, work on a cruise ship, and that's where they met. So who knew? There's all kinds of cool stories and facts for the library. And then you saw 4th of July. How fun was that? Getting to spend the 4th, you know, again, with the fireworks, hanging out with people, seeing all the shows and all that good stuff. I didn't have my blow mold Snoopy with me, but he's here now. So, all right. Speaking of fun, I wasn't going to show this clip, but I made one other quick video, and I thought it was kind of fun, only because, you know, you can bring your kids on the Mini at Sea. That's what's fun. There's things for them to do. But even when they're hanging out with all the adults, the ship has great things for them to do. So the Quantum of the Seas had, and you might have seen one of these in Vegas or somewhere else. It's kind of trendy. But here's a real quick clip, and if Boggs, I apologize. Something that the kids could do that you wouldn't think when you're first watching it. I'll explain in a moment. Let's check it out. Ooh, that video made me thirsty, and I assure you there's not alcohol in here. But sorry, it bogged again. Again, if you're just joining, I will post a clean version of this broadcast where I'll replace the videos in between. I'm having some streaming issues, probably because of weather, but I just thought that was a fun little clip. Mr. Roboto, it had the Ionic bar, and I said it was for kids, and it really was. So you could go up there and based on your card you scan, you know, your ID card, it knows your age. Kids could order Shirley, Temples, soda, whatever, but the robot would go around and make it. But you can make anything. You can get straight alcohol, you can get famous drinks, you can make up your own drinks. And just one thing though, a couple people said, including JR, who's a Bacardi and Coke guy, that didn't taste very good. So I don't know if the mixture was off, the soda they use, or JR has bad taste buds. So anyway, that is Mr. Roboto. More things to do at Mini at Sea to keep you entertained. So hang in there, folks. We're getting there. We're about 58 minutes in. I said we would go up to an hour and a half, depending on comments and questions. And speaking of those, let's check in. There are a few more. And if you have comments, still enter them. So let me scroll through and find some of the new ones here. Doug Rolls. Doug Rolls is a great guy. I talked about Doug on my last episode where he gave me that nice old Noma flatback snowman, and he gave it to me at Earl, Eastern Region Lighting Enthusiast Mini Conference in New Jersey. So another reason to go to Minis. Thanks for joining, Doug, and probably would have saw you at Expo 2 again if it wasn't canceled. Sonia, this is great, Brian. The night we weren't at dinner in the dining room, you filmed. I know, I tried. And like I said, there's a lot of videos out there. I know Matthew's collecting up stuff. And if I get a chance to edit the videos a little bit, I'll put together just one master reel for the cruise for everybody that was on it. But thank you for welcoming us. Thank you for hanging out with Kim during the 4th of July party. And we had a great time. She said it, not me. I'm a dork. Her dork. Love you, hon. Hey, Brandon's saying hi to Miss Kimberly after she called me a dork. So thank you, Brandon. I hope to see you at a Mini at Sea. Carl's chiming in, him and Joan again. They're going to teach me pixels. I kind of know what to do with them. I just haven't made the jump. So yeah, I'd like to learn some pixels. Let me scroll up because I saw a comment earlier that I missed and I want to make sure I get it. Ben Araman and Nancy Araman, thank you for joining in. I am still looking forward to meeting you guys. I was hoping to get to the SoCal Mini this past year, but it was earlier than I had thought it would be, so I just couldn't make it work. But Ben was on season 9 of The Great Christmas Light Fight. He's a big Disney fan, does a great Disney themed show with the big Ferris wheel. You need to check them out. On a past episode of Light Fight. By the way, you can watch past episodes of Light Fight on Disney Plus and Hulu. There's some other places you get some random episodes, but they're the 2 main places. And check them out. It's Christmas in July. Why not watch an episode of The Great Christmas Light Fight? Thanks for joining, Ben and Nancy. All right. Do I have any more before I move us on? One day I'm going to buy a Stream Deck so I can do all these buttons. If you don't know what a Stream Deck is, it's kind of for streamers where you can program stuff so you don't have to do what I'm doing now. Sonia misses you, Kim. We miss them too. It's only the spring until the next cruise, so we can do it. We can do it. We can do it. All right, that is it for the comments. So let me move on to one of the other things that we got to do on the cruise, because you're not always on the ship, as you've probably seen in some smaller clips. You got to have some epic adventures. And again, this is represented from Kim and I's experience because I didn't have all the videos of everybody, but there were a lot of excursions you can do on the cruise, you know, and some of it was laid out in this document Matthew prepared. You can go whale watching. You can go dog sledding and dog mushing. You can hang out with puppies that are being trained to be mushers. You could go hiking into state parks. You can go climb on a glacier. You can fly in helicopters. You can fly in seaplanes. You can just sightsee around the town, shop for souvenirs. Cruise ships and ports are good for that. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. It's just unlimited, and Royal Caribbean makes it easy to pick. Can be a little pricey, so you got to be careful what you do. And there's also some other, you know, you go to salmon bakes, you can go to make s'mores, all kinds of stuff. But Kim and I did two specific ones, and we mainly did them because they were compliant for the wheelchair. And the first one is in Skagway, Alaska. We had to go on one of the most incredible train rides I've ever been on, where we were on the White Pass Scenic Railway. I'm going to show you some just small clips of it. I know it's going to bog, but video does not do this justice. If you ever are in Skagway, Alaska, you need to take the Scenic Railway. It is worth every single penny. It's about 20 miles in and 20 miles back, and just some of the most beautiful scenery. You're up on small sides of mountains, way up in elevation, looking over caverns, and then seeing old bridges that were knocked down from a long time ago. Not that we went over those. You go through caves and tunnels. You get to cross into Canada and go through the Great Divide. There's all kinds of cool stuff there. And then the second one we did was in Juneau. Kim found a tour where you get to go into an actual old gold mine that's been around for a long time during the gold rush, but into modern times. It's now defunct, but there's over 160 miles of underground caves where gold is being extracted. And we actually did get some gold and brought it home. So I'll show you that. That was good for a wheelchair, even though it was down in a cave, but that was fun. But again, there were a lot of great excursions. A lot of people did a lot of fun things. Let me just show you what we did. If you have any comments while we're watching this video, it's a couple minutes long, feel free to do it. Hang in there if it's bogging. And again, I'll update the clips later. But check this out. This is one of the coolest train rides I've ever been on. And I'm sure there's others like it around, like in Pikes Peak in Colorado. We did that before. This is just totally different, totally different. And let's check it out and watch it. Here we go. She gives me money. Really cool excursion. You actually do find some gold. Matter of fact, here it is. It's not just liquid gold. You probably can't see it in there, but if I turn it over, you can see the little gold in there. You get to keep it. Not enough to retire on. But interesting thing in the mine, we learned that you might have saw the one shot where it wasn't jittery, where there's quartz on the wall, the white wall. What we learned was in the mines, if you can find quartz, I don't know if it's particularly white quartz, but if you find quartz, a chemical reaction is where gold attracts and fissures through. So when they would pull out these chunks of dirt, tons and tons of stuff would come out of this mine every day. It's incredible, the numbers they told us. Then they grind it all up. Then it goes into those tables and you get the pan, just like they did in the old days back during the 1800s gold rush. And you pull flakes of gold out. It's very hard, very difficult. Matter of fact, I think it was Matthew Eccles telling me they did an excursion at a gold place different than this kind. And he pulled out $55 worth of gold. You could sell it back to the mine. So really cool. Again, sorry I didn't have the other excursions, but I've seen a couple small clips. Just wasn't enough to include to create a video, but I saw the dog mushing that Abe and Yaska DeGraw did. I saw the kayaking that the Matos family did. I saw all the different excursions. So really fun. If you aren't interested in classes, or if you are and your spouse isn't, they can come along, hang out on the ship and all the pools and all that stuff. We did all that stuff. Or you can go on these fun excursions. Everybody does them, a lot of neat things. Saw big totem poles in some of the national parks. Saw sea otters as we're pulling into port in the harbors. I didn't see, well, I saw a whale coming home, but I didn't see a whale any other time, but some of the other folks did. So really, really cool. Really cool. And if you're a Disney person, you'll see at least a Disney Cruise Line ship. Saw that too, along with some of the others. So, hey, we're hanging in there. Let's check in on any comments. If you have some more, we're close. We got 2 more short videos, and this episode of The Librarian will be history. It'll be on the shelf with all the other notes. I do still have my notebooks. I got lots of stuff to add into here. Lots of stuff about the mini at sea that I'm going to put in here, and we'll file it in there for the archive, for the card catalog. But, you know, I talked about all these things and hanging out with people, and it's probably the best reason to go on a mini at sea besides learning about Christmas lights. It's hanging out with the people. It's all about the people. Just like you do your displays, if you are one who puts up a big Christmas display, you do it for your community. It might be a hobby, but at the end of the day, it's for your community. And it wouldn't be able to be completed without friends. And Kim and I have met a lot of friends at all the different minis we've gone to, all the different expos, all the different conferences. And the mini at sea is no exception. Met some great people, some I've never met before. I don't remember everybody's names or all their spouses, and I hope they don't mind me calling out, but here's just some of the people that were on the trip. Of course, there was Kim and I, the first Michael family. Then I'll jump over. We had Randy and Sherry, the other Michael family from the West Coast, who's not related. Of course, we had Matthew and Esther Eccles, who really were very helpful. They took Kim and I up on the day we went to Victoria, British Columbia. Kim and I went down and got our picture with the Canada sign, but we didn't go on excursion. However, we got to go up on the big arm that goes 300 foot above the ship and then goes out over the side. Thank you for that experience. We had Karen and John Matos. Karen's husband, John, was there. He did help out. Great guy. Another John, all the Johns and the Matos. Of course, JR and Cecilia Matos and little Johnny and Faye. Great to see them. They gotten so big since the Christmas light fight. Really, really cool. Kevin and Sonia Larson, you know, and their son Ryan, really, really great people, really friendly. And again, not only does a display, but as a vendor providing stuff for the mini and all the IT support. We met Abe and Yaska. They're from California as well. They're their first mini. They were newbies just like we were. And we got to have great dinners with them. They told us about some of the special dinners they got, which Kim and I didn't do any of those. There's a lot of all these other restaurants you could buy into, but they had this one at Wonderland, which was like eating at Alice in Wonderland. They had some cool stuff they showed there. So really great meeting you. I'm glad you got to do another excursion or extend your trip and do some other things afterwards. We had Tom and Cindy Kathman. We had the Dietrich family, Larry, and I don't remember his spouse's name. I apologize. And then we had Larson and Christina, who are kind of newer in the pixel side, but he's also done some work and helped Tom Betgeorge. So that was kind of cool to learn. We had Tony Russo and his spouse, and then we had Barry there. Barry was funny. Barry was doing everything he could because there's like this diversification in 8 years. But if you go back to the vendors thing where we were doing the wheel and it spun around, he was the only name on there that was left because as you won a prize, your name got dropped off. So, hey, Barry, you were due to win. But glad you had a great trip. It was great meeting you. And again, thank you to all the vendors and sponsors for that. So, oh, we had Fred and Jeanette take on. They were great to hang out with. They wore their name badges all the time. So yeah, we got name badges. I should have wore it for the show. It would have been cool. If I missed your name, I apologize. And if I said it and you didn't want me to, I apologize too. But we're friends now. We're friends. Speaking of friends, let's check on comments and then we'll play a video about friends. And I don't know if there are any new comments, but let's see what I can find out. Oh, Matt's chiming in. I knew he was going to watch. Pleasure meeting you. That is the great thing about Mini at Sea. It's the socializing. And there was a lot of socializing till late hours of the night in the different bars, the restaurants. There's lots of games going on and trivia and shows, places where you can hang out, places where you can be a part of the show or a part of the game. So it was fun doing that, and we do appreciate spending time with you. I think I'm caught up on comments. So I got 2 quick videos. I want to play all the friends we met at sea, and then kind of a bon voyage, and we'll wrap it up here. So get your last comments in, and please think about checking out the Mini at Sea org webpage and learning about the next 2 trips. They're going to be fun. They're going to be fun. We're going to sign up for them. We didn't do it yet, but we will. And let's see what these friends meant to us. So here's a real short video. Hopefully it doesn't bog. Check this out. These are our friends on the ocean. So here we go. Let me cue this up for you. Darn, it bogged down at the very end when the whale was splashing on us to get me all wet. I'm almost wet with tears just thinking about all the friends I got to wait to see again. It's all about the friends and the friendships. So I really hope that you get a chance to go to either a Mini or a Mini at Sea and meet new friends. Or if they've been somebody you've only met like this from a computer screen or in a Zoom room or in a chat or in a forum, finally meet them in person. It's so much better. It's so much better. And there's a lot of opportunities coming up. So before I kind of wrap things up, just a couple of things. So first, again, sorry about the IT issues. As a reminder, in case you didn't catch this, I will re-edit this video. This one will stay original and it'll be on YouTube to restream, but I'll put a clean one up where I'll take all the video clips that I played and put them in between my interviews here so that they're clean. That's the first thing. But 2, upcoming events and shows if you want to think about a Mini. So real soon is the Ohio Lighting Enthusiast Mini. I'll be going to that. And I'll be teaching a class about light fight and all things light fight, our experience on light fight, how you can get on light fight, and a lot of fun facts, myths, things that are in my notebook here. We're going to share those at the Ohio Mini. Last I heard, there's over 100 people signed up. It's my first time going to it. I'm driving out there. It's going to be a 6-hour drive. I'm going to listen to Christmas music while I'm driving. It's July. Why not? So we got that coming up. Outside of that, I know the SoCar Mini, South Carolina Mini is coming up. Still trying to figure out if I can make that one work. I'd have to fly to that one. Got to make sure things work out. But if I'm there, you can be there and you can tell me about it. Maybe I can interview you on my show about the South Carolina Mini. Other episodes coming up. So Christmas in July will continue. This past weekend, right after the Mini at Sea, I got to go do one of my favorite things. I got to go look at blow molds, you know, the plastic figures that you see in our episode of Light Fight. Well, I happen to live in PA, 2 hours away from the largest blow mold auction that happens twice a year, July and November. It's called the Jones Auction House. So that'll be my next episode on Light Fight in the next 2 weeks or so. I'll try to do it probably right after I get back from the Ohio Mini. And there were thousands of blow molds there up for auction. And there were hundreds of people there, believe it or not, for hours. I only stayed for 3 or 4 hours, bidding on these things. And some went for reasonable prices and some went for insane numbers. Like, wow, don't tell Kim, she'll make me want to sell my blow molds so we can go on a Mini at Sea. Just kidding. She knows I wouldn't do that. So we have that coming up. And then I'm also working on a special episode with somebody from the Great Christmas Light Fight. So a lot of details and schedules to work out there, but I'm talking from the actual staff, not somebody who's been on the show. So I did do my casting associates episode, one of the first ones I did. Go back and watch that, where I had the entire casting team on. Never happened before on the show. That's going to happen. So we'll see. I'm working on some emails now, working on some questions. I got to get them so that they can prep for it. And I'll let you know when that one happens. Might not be until August, but if we get in July, we'll get it in July. All right. I'm going to check in if there are any final comments, and then I'm going to wrap this thing up with my closing video, which I know is going to bog, but hang in there and watch it. I don't know if there are any more comments, but let's see what we have. Let me zoom in here. I got this crazy thing going on with my mouse right now. Ah, here we go. Oh, new comments. I see a new comment. Oh, Sonia is inviting Kim's twin sister to join us in 2026 and 2027. And you can get the deal, all the details from Karen Matos. I did put that up there, her website, or just Google Mini at Sea, miniatsea.org website. The details are there. And there were other, for what it's worth, there were other families on there who brought friends who did all the other cruise activities with them, but didn't necessarily go to the actual classes. And that's okay. However, they were invited to our group photo. You saw our group photo, and you saw our Mini at Sea shirts. I should have wore that for the show today, but I'm kind of partial to this as my theming. But again, thank you vendors and sponsors, not only for the blankets, the goodies, the treats, helping pay for the party and the conference room and the IT, but thank you for all the goodies and thank you for the shirts, the Mini at Sea shirts. I think you'll see it again in one of the closing videos here. All right, with no further ado, I thank you for hanging in there. This last video will play. It's only about 2 minutes long. It will lag. I tested it. I apologize, but try to hang in there. Check back in. I'll make a post when I clean up the video so that there's the YouTube original version, and then there's a cleaned up one with all the videos in the middle. I'll also look at, for the Mini at Sea attendees, combining them all into one big montage video, and maybe I can throw in other pictures when I get the archive from Matt so that it's more encompassing of your experience. But it's time to move on. It's time to say goodbye for the night. Let me give you my bon voyage. And if you do have questions, you can email me, follow me, subscribe on Facebook, friend me on Facebook. Just look up Brian Michael. On YouTube, look up the Librarian, Brian Michael. You'll find it. I'm there if you're not following me already. And before I click it, Monty's asking if I'm bringing blow molds to Ohio. No, but I'm bringing something more special for my class. And I'll let you just think about what it is. And it is related to Light Fight. And it's kind of shiny and big and bright. It lights up. You got to come to the Ohio Mini to see what it is. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining in. Listen to this goodbye message and watch my little outro. It's special for the trip. And, you know, again, I enjoyed meeting all the new friends and the friends at sea. And we'll see you at a future Mini or the next Mini at Sea. So bon voyage. Check this out and have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas in July. Listen to music, watch movies, create some props, start decorating, whatever you need to do it. It's fun. We're concluding our trip here on the Royal Caribbean Quantum of the Seas, a trip of a lifetime up to Alaska and back down to Seattle. We had a great mini at sea. If you've never been on one, you need to come check it out. This was my first time checking it out, and I gotta tell you, it did not disappoint. We had close to 40 attendees, all sharing their experiences with their light shows, whether you're a traditional light show, an AC light show, a pixel light show, a hybrid light show. There's something here for you at the Mini at Sea, and you should check it out. Even better is the opportunity to hang out with a lot of great people from all over the United States that share a passion for Christmas lights just like you do. If you want to learn more about the Mini at Sea, go to the Facebook community pages and look for Mini at Sea and follow them, subscribe. There are already 2 other Minis set up. One's leaving out of Southern California, the other's leaving out of Florida. Check them out, pre-register for them or think about them. And if you can't make it to a Mini at Sea, please attend a local Mini in community. It's something that you should do to connect with people and enjoy your time together, learning more and sharing your wealth and knowledge about Christmas lighting and the Christmas lighting community. My name is Brian Michael. I'm your librarian, your resource for everything related to the Great Christmas Light Fight, and even more. Follow me, check me out on Facebook, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on a future Mini at Sea. Bon voyage, ahoy matey, and check it out. See ya.